Hi, darlings. This is Christina, and today we are going to be talking about my 2024 luxury beauty favorites. It is an extensive list, and the reason is because there were so many fantastic releases this year. It was so hard to narrow down, but I compiled a 40 list best of in every category. So you may want to grab a coffee, a tea, something to snack on because we're going to go into this very extensive list right now. So if you're interested, just keep watching and let's get into it. Okay, darling. So I figured let's start with the face, right? So what I have been loving, loving, loving this year, and more specifically winter, is the Super Tinted Hydrator by Ubeauty. I didn't love it as much last year, and I think I purchased this closer to the beginning of spring. So the weather had changed. My skin was no longer needing that extra hydration. But let me tell you, for the past month, this has been my sole everyday beautiful wearing hydrator. It's almost like a skin tint, I would say, but it is just so comfortable on the skin. It makes your skin look just so juicy, so moisturized. I wear this in shade 5 and I love everything about it. Even when I remove my makeup at night, when I remove it, my skin doesn't feel dry. It is a very interesting feeling. It actually feels like skincare on your skin. And so for that, I just can't say enough about this. I also have really enjoyed the Dior foundation stick. Now, let me tell you, separately, amazing. Together, OMG, a dream come true. Now, this is a very expensive type of combination, but for me, since I already have the products, it has been an absolute dream come true. It's like my perfect foundation. You have the hydrating serum, very juicy, hydrator underneath. And then we have a little more coverage. So I kind of put this on everywhere first. And then I maybe put a few swipes and I wear it 3 in. I put a few swipes, one here, here, and I mix it in with my hands, and that's how I prefer to actually wear it. Now that I have this combination, I hardly ever use them separately because I just really enjoy them together. My last favorite foundation of the year has to go to Clé de Peau. This is the Radiant Fluent Natural Foundation. I have this in 040 Light Tan Ochre. I really love this. It's so beautiful. It's the foundation I wear for special occasions, for Christmas celebrations. If my husband and I go out to dinner, if we're doing something as a family, I really love this one if I want a really flawless looking skin. Also purchased one for my sister's wedding. I ended up, doing that foundation for her, and I was a little nervous about it because it does have that SPF in it. And I was really close to like changing her out, but she took her engagement photos with this foundation and it looked good on her. So then I kept it going for the wedding, and I think it turned out perfectly. This is after Christmas. So one of the gifts my sister gave me, just so you can see, was a picture of us at her wedding. Let me see if I can get it in closer. So I thought her skin looked absolutely fabulous. So I'm happy with my decision. I know we're so goofy together, but this was one of my favorite gifts that she gave me. I love it because it's my baby sister. It was a memory we had, and we had a blast at her wedding. My only caveat with this is I kind of wish it didn't have SPF because I think the color would be absolutely perfect on me like year round. I feel like this works best on me in the winter because it is a smidge lighter. Once I start to get a little tan, it does become a little too light. And that's my only caveat with that one. Now let's talk about the glows. So the first glow that I purchased last year was the Dior Star Filter. And this is also in 3N, where I have found my perfect coloring, and I feel like anything I choose in 3N works really well for me. This is beautiful. It is a beautiful, I would almost say like a primer, but you may not want to put it everywhere, just in the places you want to highlight. Like here, maybe here, and then use like a foundation or concealer. You can use this as like a skin tint, so you really wouldn't have to put a foundation on it. And I found that I've used it like that. It's such a beautiful, beautiful formula. I have 3 of these type now. I will be doing a video on this later on in the year about, you know, the differences between them. But as you can see, it gives a really beautiful sheen to the skin, very healthy looking. I also purchased the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Sheer Glow Tint, and I know this was either a hit or a miss with many because they advertised it as a foundation, and that absolutely isn't what it is. This is also kind of like a skin tint, very similar to the Dior, except I felt like this one I can almost use sometimes like a concealer. It's very interesting. A concealer with a little glow. Like if I want to really quickly like tap a little under my eye, it works really well. There's no creasing. It gives my eyes a little bit of coverage. A little bit here, you know. That's how I kind of use it, like as a spot concealer almost, but it gives a very glowy, dewy radiance. So I really like this. I think it's worth it. You just have to know how to use it and for your skin type. If you don't need a concealer or glowy anything, this may not be for you, but I really have enjoyed it. Chantecaille. This is, it's very liquidy, you hear it? But this is the Chantecaille Broad Spectrum SPF primer. I bought this during the summertime. They had the Sylvie sale. This is when I like to get Chantecaille, when they have her sales, because they are pricey products. So I purchased this. I purchased a few other things, but I really loved how this made my skin look. This made me feel like maybe primers are for me after all, when I really for the longest time don't believe in primers. Like for the most part, I feel like your skincare is enough for me to prime my skin, but this kind of changed my mind and made me want to try other things. So I have tried other things, but nothing kind of like I loved as much as this primer, especially during summer, because it gives your skin like a nice prime without being too sticky. It's very expensive, right? So I hesitate to use this daily. Like definitely in the summer I'll use it, but not during the winter. But it's got your primer and your SPF, and it gives your skin a nice foundation for anything it lays down. And I just love this. I felt like this was actually a primer I could stand behind. So for that, I stand behind this. Okay, did I, oopsies, skip this? I'm trying to keep everything separated because I have a lot going on here. But this is the Chantecaille Just Skin. Since we're in Chantecaille, I feel like I can talk about this. Now this is in the wheat color. So this is a little darker than my skin, I would say, just a touch. But I actually really like this for the summertime because this is a tint that isn't too like shiny. You know, some tinted moisturizers, for example, my Ubeauty, very hydrating, very moisturizing, very serum-like. But during summer, this is not what I want, right? This is definitely a wintertime thing. Whereas this one, perfect. Not a winter thing, definitely a summer thing because, or spring, summer, whenever it starts to get hotter and my skin just doesn't need the super hydration, this is when I'll pull this out. It's got beautiful coverage. I would say like light to medium coverage. And PS, let me tell you that all the foundations that I have are kind of like, the most buildup I have is a medium coverage. So that goes with the Peau. That also goes for the Dior skin tint or the Dior foundation stick. These have a medium coverage, I would say. So I like medium coverage because as I get older, I don't want a heavy like foundation that looks like foundation sitting on my skin. I really enjoy these medium coverage builds. Now we're going to talk about bronzers. So initially, the first bronzer I tried, I think. Yeah. The newest bronzer I tried was the RMS in the Malibu Muse. I thought this is, and I still do, think it's such a lovely color. My only caveat with this for me is that it does not last on my skin very long, but it could just be my skin. But other than that, I still love it. It's still a beautiful color. And for the price, you really can't go wrong. It's a lovely lovely finish. It's got a little bit of glow without being shimmery. It's just beautiful. I really enjoy, of all the RMS things, this is probably the thing I use the most. The blushes are a little too shimmery for me on everyday use. As much as I like them, I don't love them. I love this bronzer. The next thing I tried was the Sicily Photo Touch bronzer. Very similar to the RMS in tone, right? But the thing about Sicily for me was that this actually lasts on me. It is, you do have to like break the seal of it a little. And yes, the price is quite different between these. I'm not gonna lie, like a huge difference in price. But Sicily has really blown my mind this year with like the quality. This also has a slight more golden hue as opposed to more of a neutral golden hue. So for me, I really like that. So that has been a really beautiful bronzer. I've actually used this a lot more, probably in the RMS now, because it just lasts on my skin a little better. Then we have the Dior Forever Skin Contour. Now, when I did my original review, I purchased the color 3, yeah, which was more of a contour. I don't know why I did this because honestly, I don't contour ever. So I really wanted to try number 2, but I was like, no, let's try something different. Mistake. Because during one of the sales at Macy's, I picked up the number 2, and let me tell you, for a cream bronzer, I have never loved something so much. I mean, I finished the Chanel bronzer, cream bronzer, which was like the only cream bronzer I liked. But this here is so awesome. I'm actually wearing it now. And yes, they're different in tone slightly, but they're so easy to blend. I'm actually using this today. I just kind of put it in the corners here. I blend with my Rare Beauty cream brush. I like that one for these here contour sticks, but it's just such an easy, travel friendly, everyday wearing bronzer. I have really enjoyed it since I purchased it. I probably had it about a month. Love, 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 love. So now we're going to talk about highlighters, and I'm only going to be talking about a few items that I haven't reviewed yet. Guys, I have so much makeup still. Things I haven't talked about that I purchased from the Sephora sale. Yep, in October. I haven't been able to make a video on it. So I have a lot coming in 2025, but I'm gonna refrain from talking about those until I do a review on them. So these are just the things that you've seen me review for the most part, with the exception of a few. Now this is not one of them. This is just my most newest one. It is the Chanel Jeu de Lumière. And what I love about this highlighter palette is you have all the colors. Since I reviewed this and I've been using it, I can't stop using it. It's the most basic thing, and yes, you probably have highlighters very similar to this, but if you want a highlighter you can take with you, because for me, I do my makeup in the car typically, I love this because I don't need to take all my highlighters with me. I have one. I can't stop using it. They're just so beautiful. And you know, guys, I did a review on this already, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But oh my goodness, just gorgeous colors, everyday wearable. I think this will probably be one of my favorites from Chanel for the 2025 year. I know it's 2024, but I've been getting tons of use out of it. Next highlighter I have been loving. Prior to purchasing the Chanel, this was probably one of the ones I used all the time, and this is the Christian Dior limited edition Lumiere in the O2 Coral Lumiere. Such a nice formula. These are the things that Dior does well. They are just so creamy, so beautiful, so buttery, so skin-like, and I have loved this. I'd say in comparison to these two, the Chanel is slightly a little more, how do I put it, more skin-like than the Dior, but ever so slightly. But when I compared them, because I wore them to a gathering yesterday, I put this one on this side and this one on the right, and I found that this actually didn't show up as much. This had more coloring, and I used, what color did I use? I used this here color, which is a little bit lighter of a gold versus the coral. So yeah, but it's very similar in its tone, but this one definitely showed up more than the Chanel. So it just depends on what look you're going for. Also, love, love, love the Or Rose by Hermes highlighter. So beautiful. This has to be one of my favorite things from Hermes this year. It is so, look at this. Look at that. Look at that sheen. Look at that it's stunning. I love to use this on my eyes. It's a beautiful eyeshadow. It's beautiful on the cheeks. It's just a beautiful highlighter. I know it's limited edition, but if you've been interested in this, I'm telling you, you won't regret it. My last highlighter that I've been loving is the Chanel Balm Essential in Mermaid Glow. I have never gotten so much use. Besides that purple one, Lila's, I use that a lot actually. But this year, Mermaid Glow has been having my heart, been loving, loving, loving. And I love it. It's got a little shimmer. It's got some glitter. So if you're not a glitter person, I don't know if you're gonna love it. But I love the wet, dewy look it gives. I just pop it right here. And it just gives this like moist, juicy look that I'm obsessed with. I have loved this Balm Essential. Probably one of my favorites besides that purple one that came out last year. Okay, so now let's talk about face palettes. Now, I did purchase 2 of the Le Beige Chanel palettes, okay? I purchased the medium coral and I purchased medium rose gold. I have this in the box because I broke medium rose gold. I was taking it with me all over. I was obsessed. I love this palette. I especially love this blush color. I think it's a beautiful pink color. Oh, it's just my favorite. So I keep it very close to home and protect it because I'm so afraid to drop it. Now, we initially thought these were going to be limited editions, but they're not. They actually have kept them around, which is nice. But I still needed to have it just in case they decided to, you know, change their mind. This pink color has my heart. It's so beautiful, especially during spring and summer. You would definitely see me rocking this again. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, bright, like raspberry pink everyday color. I'm obsessed. And the nice thing is you can use the whole thing, blend it, and just use it as an overall glowy blush, bronzer, highlighter. It's beautiful. And I can't say enough about the Le Beige palette. It's, like I said, this is my second one. They're not cheap, and I still needed to have it in my collection, so that says a lot. The Hourglass Special Edition Ambient Light Edit Unlocked. This is in the palette Evil Eye, the most beautiful Hourglass face palette I've ever seen. Now, mind you, I only have 2. I purchased one last year and this year. I'm kind of new to the Hourglass game. I never liked them before. Now, this here color really struck me, this Desert Oasis. Now, I will tell you it's a little too light for me and my skin tone as a blush, but it's a beautiful blush topper. So I use this a lot as a blush topper. Such a gorgeous highlighter here. Almost reminds me of the Or Rose by Hermes. Very close, except, let me put that, well, let me just put it here. When I did the video, I did a comparison of this one. Very close, except the Hermes is just a little more sheen to it. It's a little finer of a sheen. See at the bottom? It just has a wet look to it, right? But this is really pretty. The blushes are really beautiful. I even like this more neutral color bronzer and the powder. I mean, you can't go wrong if you just need a face palette. Take with you. I need a refresher. This is a long video. All right, let's talk about eyeshadows. So Lisa Eldridge Phoebe, my favorite one and done eyeshadow. I will continue to forever purchase this. I tried a few Lisa Eldridge things this year. I really like the brand. A few things on my list of this brand, but this in particular is something I think I have to always have. It's just so perfect. It's what I've been looking for a neutral everyday eyeshadow that when I'm on the go and I don't want to put a lot of effort into my look, this is it. This is all I need. this mascara, blush or something, and be on my way. Oh, and of course, concealer. But yeah, and then you're good. You are so good to go. And I just love this. Some of these I'm going to lump together because they're all the same product, but I have various colors of them, okay? So we have the Chanel Ombres Essential. This one is in 248 Latte Frappe. 248 Latte Frappe. This is from the newer spring palette collection, which is going to come out soon. But I also have the Blanc Pearl. I purchased many of these, but these are the ones that I love and use regularly. I'm actually using Blanc Pearl in the inner corner, and I'm using that Jade Facette on my eye. So I'm using all three of these actually, because this is in the outer corner. Yeah, this is my blending color. All of these are fantastic. This Jade Facette is like this gorgeous blue-green iridescence. I have it on my eyes here. Love. It's one of the reasons I didn't purchase the new green one, because I knew I need to get a lot more use out of this. It's such a stunning color. And when we creep into spring, I'm going to start definitely rocking this again. I use Blanc Pearl often. I love it as an inner corner highlight. It's got this beautiful pink white iridescence. It's just a stunning color. And then, you know, I did a review on this, my last review of this recently. It's unfortunately a limited edition. I don't know why, because this is a neutral color everybody needs. Like, they should make this permanent. This is not something that needs to be limited edition. This is just a stunning neutral warm color that's going to work for so many. We also have a few more single shadows. These are the Dior Monocouleur single eyeshadows. Now, Beige Mitza has to be one of the prettiest brown colors. I love it. It's so pretty. I never thought I would like such a cool tone brown, but this one I actually really do. And then we have the Coral look. Okay, sorry guys, it is like all messed up, but that's because I've been using it. It's a beautiful like topper color, so pretty. I'm not swatching everything, just the things I think you need to see. But this is the Beige Mensa and the Coral look. Now, by the way, I've made videos of all these things, so if you're interested in more of a deep dive, please look at the videos I have. I have the Chanel Rivage palette. Now, when this first came out, I was obsessed with this palette, okay? Loved everything about it. I was so close to picking up a second palette because I love this hair color. Now, the Coral look from Dior kind of helped me like fix my need to have this, but I really hope in 2025 Chanel comes out with this kind of color in either their singles or something, because I need to have this back in my collection. Such a beautiful wet looking like sand color. I was obsessed, okay? And mixing it with like this color. These are probably my two favorite colors. These two together were like a dream come true. And so for that, Rivage has to be my favorite Chanel palette of this year. Then we have the beautiful Dior special edition. Oh, you know, I hate that they're special editions. Why can't the things we love be always in stock? But this is the Saint Henri. It's a homage to all these beautiful cities in Paris. So they had different colors, different color stories, but I chose the boring, and I'm so glad I did. Stunning, okay? These shimmers are, I mean, you just wouldn't expect this from Dior, right? Like, they're just beautiful, creamy, smooth, pigmented. I was so surprised because, you know, I'm not a fan of Dior Quints, but these here, beautiful. It blew my mind with the pigment, with the smoothness. I love everything about this palette. Definitely felt like it was very fall friendly. It's definitely everyday wearable. These shimmers are definitely something you can top over anything. These two colors, this color in particular, this beautiful coral color, so stinking pretty. Definitely going to be getting more use out of it this year. And then it has this pretty like burnt color. Now the only thing is none of these are mattes, so you do need something to kind of ground it on if you're not a big shimmer shine person. Beautiful palette. So I really loved this one. All right, so you know I'm a big fan of blush. So let's just start with the creams first. Tom Ford Cafe Rose. This cream blush, look, I've already gone through it this much. One of my favorite cream blushes ever. It's so pretty. It's like the everyday neutral palette. Now, is it worth the hefty price of $95? I mean, that's where it gets a little crazy to me because as much as I like this, I really do. It has served me so well. The price bothers me because I don't think $95 is right, right? But it is still a very beautiful, everyday, easy to blend. One of my only cream blushes at the time that I loved. So for that, it has to make the list because I will finish it by next year. The next cream blushes are, no surprise, from one of my favorite beauty brands, Chanel. Chanel came out with the Use Contrast and Tints cream blushes. I purchased every color, guys. I know I've never done that before, but I was so curious about them and I wanted to have an archive of these blushes for people who wanted to see them. And so I got all the colors, but these are the colors I probably wear the most: Rose Ardent, Rose Radiant. And what I love about these blushes, more even than the Tom Ford, is that one, they're like half the cost. Okay, yeah, Chanel's half the cost of Tom Ford. And then these blushes are from cream to powder. So once you blend them in, they set like all day. I'm just so amazed. I don't really like cream anything, but Chanel with their cream to powder blushes have just rocked my world. So I love them. Beige Eclatant was a little too light for me, and the others are very beautiful. The pretty red, and like I said, I did a video on these. And the orange color, very pretty. I'll probably pop those out in the summer, but these are the ones I've been getting use out of the most, but they're all gorgeous. You couldn't go wrong with them. They're stunning on the skin. They don't emphasize texture, and they set down. They're not sticky. Fantastic formula. Applauses to Chanel. Sticking with the Chanel, I'm just going to finish Chanel off, okay? It's going to be most of the blushes, okay? But this is their new, newly reformulated blush in Love. So pretty. It's actually what I'm wearing today. It's a beautiful neutral color. I was hoping that Chanel would eventually reformulate. It's not like their original formula, but it's a whole heck of a lot better than their last reformulation, which was awful. So it's a beautiful formula. It doesn't enhance texture. It has a little bit of luminescence to it. So it is a really nice, stunning, like, formula. I can back this. I think it's beautiful. Now, let's talk about the last special editions of Chanel. I'm lumping these together because they're not all the same, but pretty similar. So this is Rose Coquage. This came out with the Mermaid collection, I believe. Yes. I love this. It was a mixture of colors between peach and like this rose pinky color, and I know people didn't like it. They're like, this is like a basic blush. It's true, you know, it is a basic blush considering Chanel normally likes the shimmer, likes the shine, but sometimes it's nice to have a matte blush. Why? Because anything with like shimmer and shine does enhance texture. So I just found that I really like this if I'm very shimmery shiny, like my face is shiny and I don't want to enhance that. Like I'll put highlight in the places I want and a nice matte blush. But yeah, I really like this formula. Definitely gives more spring summer vibes, but I did love this. You know, I recommended it tons initially. Then we have the Chanel Duos. Okay, they're gonna look real beat up, guys. But these are the Chanel Jardin Imaginaire, which surprisingly are still on different websites. I'm like shocked. I'm not shocked. I mean, they're beautiful, but Chanel, sometimes their special editions do linger around for a little bit, but then once they're gone, they're gone. These are fantastic. Now, initially I had a little bit of a learning curve with it, but I think it's on the application and me just getting my skin in the right place. I know you shouldn't have to do that for blushes to like work, but I found that they're so creamy, these blushes, that they can kind of settle into pores strangely if not applied very light-handedly. I think that's, you know, that's what I found with these. But regardless of the work and effort it takes to make them work, I love them. I'm so glad I have these in my collection. Both colors are stunning. Look at this. These are just so stinking pretty. And when you mix them together, like this is the pink one with the blush and the highlighter, it's a stunning color. Look at this. The pink with the iridescence is so pretty. I love this one. But I also love this peach. I know it's basic. This is definitely more unique, I would say, to Chanel, because this color is darker berry, but it's still very wearable. The highlighter of the peach I actually am wearing over top of In Love. I love this highlighter. It's got this beautiful golden, almost like the Ravage palette, that shimmer. It's like that, but in a highlighter form. Obsessed. And over top, anything, what can I say? Chanel and their blushes hardly ever disappoint. Then we have the Chantecaille Sandstone Energy color. Such a beautiful color. It's got just the right amount of sheen, just the right amount of shimmer. I can't wait to pull this out more in the spring and summer. It is just so pretty. It's like a beautiful peach. It's a blush highlighter S duo in some way, all in one. It's just a really pretty color. I did a review on this as well, so like I said, I'm not gonna repeat myself too much, but almost all of these I have a review on. But so pretty. Then I had to try Sicily for the first time. This is what initially started attracting me to the brand. I was looking for a neutral brown blush, which I still kind of am. So if something comes out next year, I am on the hunt for a brownish blush, right? But the Sicily blushes are not new, but they are stunning. The only thing I will say about Sicily, they definitely need more shade ranges, but the formula itself is stunning. It also is like a blush highlighter kind of situation, gives your skin like a nice radiance, doesn't emphasize texture. Sicily is really big on like healthy ingredients, beautifully crafted products. I can't get enough of this. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, guys. We've got a few more categories. These were the liners that I tried that I really have been getting a lot of use out of. The new Lisa Eldridge Sculpt and Shade in 1C. It's a beautiful pinky color. Really love that. I feel like it's got enough grip, enough slip. I enjoy it very much. The Hermes Rose Tomei 24 color. I really love this color. I love the formula. I don't think a liner should be $50 if you're not going to include a sharpener. Thank you very much. Got issues with that. Very salty. But I really love this color. In fact, it's what I'm using on my lips today. Really like this color. And I think if you're going to pick a Hermes lip liner, pick something different, you know, a different type of color, because there's so many neutral lip liners on the market that will do just fine. Pick something different, and I think they did really well with this kind of warm, almost like tomato, I don't know, it's kind of like a pretty peachy color, but reddish at the same time. It's a very different color. I don't know how to explain it. Very pretty. And then Dior added a few of their lip liners. I didn't really want to talk about this because I feel like it's not new, but that's okay because we have some things in here that aren't new that I talked about. But it's new to me. This is in Rose Spice. This definitely is a creamier formula than either of the Lisa Eldridge or the Hermes formula. So this works really well with like matte lipsticks. I find I use my more creamy lipsticks with these two. That's how I prefer it. But I love these colors and I'm so glad I have them in my collection. My only liner that I'm going to mention because I use it regularly, it's easy to use, are the new Valentino liners. I have this in green Stravaganza and brown fondant. I don't know where my brown fondant is right now, but it's a cooler brown. I hope they come out with a warm brown because if they do, then my life will be complete. Such a beautiful, beautiful color, beautiful formula. It's creamy. and at the same time it stays put once it sets. So you have wiggle time, wiggle room to kind of move it as you will and where you want it. But I just really love, see, it's already starting to set down beautifully. I just love these. I feel like they did such a fantastic job. It's by far my favorite pencil eyeliner that I've ever tried. So I'm good on my pencil eyeliners right now. I just really need a nice warmish brown eyeliner to complete my collection. All right, concealers. I did try a few concealers this year, not tons, but the one I was impressed by was the Surat Beauty. And what I love is this little handle. Yes, it's messy. I have this in the color 5. It's not going to give you heavy coverage, but it's a nice light coverage. It also is a great touch up throughout the day if like things are starting to fade and you want to just like touch things up. I like to keep this in my purse with me because it's such a beautiful, easy formula. It doesn't bunch up, doesn't crease. It's very hydrating, but also sets really nice. Been loving the Surat Beauty. And like I said, if you don't have dark circles, not heavy dark circles, this will probably work for you fantastically for every occasion. Since I do have a little bit of a heavier dark circle, House Labs Beauty has been killing it for me. I picked the shade 22, which is a medium peach, and it has really worked really well for me. It has been my everyday concealer since I purchased it from the Sephora sale. This is the one thing recently I purchased that I've been getting, that I'm talking about with you guys because I've been using it in videos and in real life. I really, really love this. It's hydrating, it's creamy, it's got good coverage, like medium to full. It's just, she did a great job with this concealer. I don't know what else to say. It's worth the hype. I love it. These are the two concealers I really like this year. Mascaras. So I did try quite a few, but only 2 made my list. Is definitely going to be Sweet Beauty. This mascara has been rocking my world. This is probably like my 4th bottle. I purchased this one in the brown. I also have it in black. I love both of them. I think it gives the best lengthening effect. Not a lot of volume, but definitely beautiful length. It separates. It's easy to take off. No clumping, no flaking. It's gorgeous. And then during a Chantecaille sale, I have not talked about this, but I am wearing it today, so I felt like I needed to mention it. This is not new. This is the Facil's Longest Lash Peptide Treatment. This is in the color black. They only have one color, unfortunately, but it's a beautiful, beautiful mascara. It definitely is one where you could keep building and building to your heart's content. I will say it doesn't play as well with other mascaras. You know, I like to mix and match. This one doesn't do it as much. But if you want to just keep building to the high heavens, this will get you there without clumping. Beautiful separation, beautiful definition, and it has peptides. So supposedly it's supposed to make your lashes healthy and grow. And I definitely think it's worth to purchase during a sale because it is kind of a pricier mascara. And you know, you run through mascaras rather quickly. Just depends on what you're in the mood for. I think they're both beautiful new formulas. All right, let's talk about powders. I only have 2. And the 2 are from Guerlain. This is the Guerlain Meteorites. This is in the shade 3 Warm Doré. And I love this specifically for under the eyes. It sets so beautifully without me having to worry about creasing in my concealer or anything like that. It's the only powder I set my eyes with. It just works so fabulously. Yes, it's got a little scent. If you don't like strong scents, you may not like this. It doesn't bother me, but you know, that's something you have to consider. But it is such lovely packaging. I love the overall feeling to, you know, take it out, get my little fluffy brush and just boop, 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 boop. You know, it'll last me for a while because there's a lot in here, but these are just fantastic. I have not gone over this, guys, and this is the one thing I will tell you that I haven't talked about on my channel, but I love, and this is the new Guerlain Purée Gold Skin Diamond Micro Powder in shade 3. I was waiting so long for Nordstrom's to come out with it. They still haven't, which was interesting. So Bloomingdale's was having a sale. I took the moment to save 15% and purchased it, hoping it would be my shade. This is also highly fragranced, even more so I'd say than the Meteorites, but the finish it gives your skin the most flawless, beautiful, effortless looking skin. I can't say enough about this powder. I think it's the only finishing powder I will ever need. It's got tons of product. I will go over an in-depth review of it next year, but I love this finishing powder. I can't say enough about it. It is just gorgeous.